Hello, my name is Adrian Gieslin, and I am presenting Module 3 assignment for Intro to Sociology in Josh Franken's class. The first portion of this presentation is about expressive leadership. Imagine you are the president of a Fortune 500 company. You started out as a secretary right out of high school and you worked your way to the top. The vice president and CEO are always at odds. As an expressive leader, how do you resolve the social dilemma and restore order in the leadership positions between two officers? This is how. The CEO and the vice president are constantly at odds, and their behaviors are starting to affect the company. I started working as secretary for the company when I was in high school, and over the years I have worked my way up and earned the position of president. As president, I must try to resolve their social dilemmas and build my team back up. A social dilemma occurs when one employee has personal interests that are not geared towards the company's long-term better good. To help resolve the issues at hand, I must determine what exactly the issues are. As an expressive leader, I must meet with the CEO and the vice president separately to hear them out. During my meetings, I intend to show support and empathize with each of their situations. For my employees to truly open up to me, they must feel like they have my support. Once I establish the issues that both of my employees feel are occurring, I will use democratic leadership to aid in finding resolutions that work for each of us. Democratic leadership has been proven to be effective when working with highly experienced and skilled employees. It promotes problem solving and team building. Using the democratic leadership, the three of us will have a meeting to discuss the issues at hand openly. Once the issues are open and on the table, together we will work on finding compromisable solutions that benefit everyone. Throughout this process, I will guide the meeting and offer emotional support and intervene where necessary. While meeting with both members separately and determining the underlying problems, I must offer support and empathy. Next, I will hold a meeting in which all three attend. The problems will respectfully be brought to the table, and we will all talk through them and find solutions. This process will likely ease the tension between the employees and get us all back onto the same page. Section 2. Formal Organizations. Name 3 types of formal organizations and explain how each is different. Also, explain a time when you were involved in one of these types of organizations and the positives and negatives it had within it. The first is voluntary organizations. Voluntary organizations are completely made of voluntary members. Individuals can participate as they wish without being held to a commitment. Voluntary organizations often provide a public service, such as serving food at a soup kitchen. Others provide leisure activities for similar interests, such as a bowling club. The second type is coercive organizations, which are the opposite of voluntary organizations. Individuals are forced to be members and held against their will. Imprisonment, involuntary psychiatric holds, and military drafting are prime examples. Members must be forced to become part of the institution and are isolated from the outside world. They must be a resident for a certain amount of time while their behaviors are securely regimented. They become stripped of their personal belongings and ability to socialize with family and friends. Coercive members are provided with attire that matches the other members of the institution. They often go through mortification as part of their induction process. Humiliation and degradation are placed on them as they are welcomed into the institution. My personal experience with coercive organizations. I work as a psychiatric nurse on a lockdown unit for a large hospital. The majority of our patients are on a 72-hour involuntary hold. Our patients do not have the choice to leave, sometimes even after their hold is completed. When patients are brought to our unit, we strip them of personal belongings and provide them with paper scrubs and hospital socks. We also do a full skin assessment, making them strip their clothes in front of us. Many feel mortified during this process, although this is not our intention. Our intention of requiring paper scrubs and removing their personal belongings is for safety reasons and to eliminate distractions. We know patients are as safe as they can be with only the belongings that we provide for them. We also know that when they do not have personal activities to work on, they can focus on going to groups and enhancing their mental health. In my experience, holding patients for psychiatric treatment is beneficial to many. They are often angry and resistive at first, but then realize that they will not be released and might as well participate appropriately in the unit. Not every case results in a positive outcome, but more often than not, they do. The last organization is a utilitarian organization. They enter these organizations with practicality. Their membership is not necessarily voluntary, but it also isn't forced upon them. A prime example of an employee at a company who does not enjoy their job, but must work and continue being a member to make a decent living. Section 3. Ideal bureaucracy. You decide to run for office, although you have little to no experience with elections, holding office, or campaigning. You feel you can be successful since you helped a friend who served in a public office at the last term. Explain how this is a characteristic of Weber's ideal bureaucracy and what we will do to prove your competence under these characteristics. As I began to run for office, I must prove my competence under Weber's ideal bureaucracy's characteristics. The first characteristic is the division of labor. Participants have a job, know their job, and eventually become an expert in their position. They also stay within their expertise scope. I may not have experience running, holding, or campaigning for my office, but I am highly knowledgeable in the content and qualified to take over. My goal is to enhance the position and people's knowledge. The second characteristic is the hierarchy of an organization. I am going into this knowing that I will be at the bottom of the pyramid, with many people overseeing my work. I will respect my authorities, take their advice, and am open to learning from them. I would know and respect my personal role and not try to overstep my boundaries. The third characteristic is the existence of rules and regulations. I promise to follow all rules and abide by any regulations placed on my position in the office. These help to ensure that continuity and consistency are brought to the office. I helped my friend a great deal while she was in office, and I am familiar with the guidelines and am willing to learn what I am currently unknowledgeable of. And personality is the fourth characteristic, and it provides an unbiased environment. This characteristic goes along with the fifth characteristic, employment, which is based upon technical qualifications. This means that those chosen for the position should not be chosen based on their personal choice or discriminated against. They are chosen based on their expertise and experience and skills. I can assure you that I have the adequate knowledge and skills to fill this office position. I just need the chance to be chosen. The last topic is alienation. As creative manager of a small group of employees in the advertising department, you notice one of your designers has withdrawn from the meeting, offering no input. This employee's alienation concerns you. What would you do to socialize this employee and engage them into their job? So for employees to perform high standards, they must feel fulfillment in their positions. When they become dissatisfied, they begin alienating themselves from their coworkers and their work performance. Many experiences burn out in their positions and need to be rejuvenated. My designer is feeling fatigued and withdrawn from her projects and coworkers. I have decided to give her a few days off work for self-care and reflection. When she returns, I will offer her the opportunities outside of her typical workload to enhance her engagement, expand her growth, and snap her out of the repetitive tasks causing her boredom. And that is my presentation on Module 2 assignment. Thank you.